We are at Fundacao Oriente, which is in Panjim, in the heart of Panjim, and we are meeting Inês Figueira. Inês, can you just show us around your very...
Definitely, come. It's a pleasure to show you. So as you know, this is our Fundacao Oriente delegation in India art gallery, and we have a permanent collection of works from the Trinidad collection.
It's such a beautiful collection, yet most people may not be aware of it, no?
I mean, awareness is coming, and we are starting to have a lot of people that coming from, Delhi, Bombay, outside of Goa, who come specifically to see this exhibition and the collection. Slowly, we've been here since 2012 with this collection. Right now we have a new permanent collection which has not only new restored paintings, as Angela Trinidad's work is...
Angela is his daughter.
Angela is António Trinidad's daughter, and her work is permanently exhibit now. So it's going to be exhibit as part of the collection.
It's such a lovely thing because most people may not be aware of this artist and his portraiture in that sense.
Oh.
Most Goans in that sense, no?
Yeah.
His portraits are so amazing in that sense.
It's true. I mean, he is a Goan. He was born in Sangay in 1870, but he went to study arts in Maharashtra at the JJ School of Arts in Bombay, where he became a teacher as well. So all his life he lived in Bombay, a city that highly influenced his work. And you can see several landscapes of Bombay, but also of...
Goans in Bombay?
No, not Goans in Bombay. Goans in Bombay too, but not only. He didn't restrict himself to that. So it's funny because you can see...
But first the artist himself, no? So this is...
Then you will cut this, no?
Sorry?
This is not going to be continuous.
You will edit? Yeah.
Okay. So this is António Xavier Trinidade in 1912. So this is one of the first paintings we have of his. It's a water portrait. And as you can see, he was a man who would like to groom himself with all the
three-piece suit.
Yes, of course, very Victorian, very British India. But this is how it's very funny that his friends are actually portraiting the same way. And if you see, there's a Portuguese portrait there of a Portuguese agent, education agent in Goa, and he's exactly dressed the same way, in the same, very well groomed, very, very Victorian too.
This is his family, right?
This is his family. So it's Florentina Miranda.
I see.
Florentina Noronha and 5 of his 8 kids. This is a painting that normally people really appreciated because it gives you an insight into the family life of the artist.
At that time.
It's very, it's also very personal. Everybody has memories of this, of your mother doing your homework with you.
Yeah, but the details he's captured are amazing in that sense.
Yeah, and the technique of the light and darkness, it's very well executed in this painting.
That's always a highlight, no? His light and darkness and the details.
This is Miranda and a child, a portrait from definitely Goans in Bombay.
I see. And he was called a Rembrandt of the East because of his...
Yes, exactly, because of this dark and light technique, but also the way he treated his subjects. There's a lot of insight in all these portraits. There's a lot of insight into the psyche of the subjects.
Yeah.
At the same time, it's very interesting to see how he portrays people in general. Even though you can compare a bit his paintings sometimes with the Orientalists, it's a very different kind of Orientalism. It's an Orientalism where the painter actually is from the place, and therefore it shows. It shows in the way the way he depicts the subject. Not only giving it exotic kind of background with buildings, but he really focuses on the people. So he knows that people. It's his people. So it's not a depiction of, but it's almost a portrait of himself.
I see.
So in this, he was a very forward-thinking man of his time. Here you see John, which was the family cook.
I see.
Normally servants at that point didn't sit for their masters to paint. And there's a lot of portraits of John, which is a dear member of the family, because as any go on, he keeps the treasures of the kitchen. Huh? So that's very important.
This is the Portuguese.
Yes, I think the thing is that the light.
Portuguese agent.
Yeah, Mr. Amor.
Okay.
The light is fused.
Okay.
Then you have, the circle of friends was very interesting. You have Henry Besant,
wow.
the British suffragist that also started the Congress Party with Nehru and among others. So a very prominent figure of the time. And this is Florentino Noronha again, his wife, in a very classical portrait, but at the same time very scandalous for India at
that time.
At that time, I mean, I don't know if it's more scandalous now than it was at that time. The fact is that with this portrait, both of them have a very clear message, which is our set of rules are our set of rules. There's nobody that can impose what we can do or not.
This is 1920.
And this painting, imagine it or not, won the Mayo. So it made the governor's medal for merit in arts. So it was exactly with this painting, which I'm almost sure that today it would be almost impossible.
I see.
Then we have Esther. Esther Trinidad was one of the daughters.
I see.
That went to New York later on to study piano and become a piano teacher. But she and Angela lived together in New York after the father died.
So this would be what year more or less?
She was 15 years old, so we don't know exactly what year it was, but I mean, we can do the maths.
I see.
The numbers of when she was born.
Yeah.
This is one of our favorite paintings. Is Mrs. Ferns, again, definitely go on from in Bombay. Her name was Mrs. Fernandez for sure, and she was a writer.
I see.
At a very modern, shortcut hair figure that actually represents very well. It was the Bombay society of the time. Very interesting.
Right. Parsi lady?
Yes, definitely a Parsi lady. This is Lady Mirabai Tata.
I see.
So she was part of a very famous family from industrialists from India. Everybody knows the Tatas. Unfortunately, we have this painting because Lady Mirabai Tata died without descendants, so nobody collected the painting. Because she sat for António Xavier Trinidade, he painted her, but she went abroad to be treated for cancer and didn't make it. So it was very unfortunate. But because of that, we can, we have an insight of what were his commissions, what commissions he had at the time. So he was quite an important and quite famous portraitist.
I see.
Here we have, so as you see, I think the way António Xavier Trinidade portraits women, you see that the majority of the portraits are women actually.
I see.
And it's very interesting to see because these paintings, when you start seeing them more often and when you see a collection as a whole, you start understanding them much better than on a first read. No? So this painting, for instance, it's called Preparing for Puja. It's from 1923, and it's very interesting because it's all the whole thing is there. The fierce woman that is going to get water for a puja, the vase that actually represents fertility. So this is the virtuous Indian woman. But at the same time, when you look at her, she's very modern in the sense that she's very autonomous and
she's looking at you in the eye also.
Yes, she's looking at you in the eye directly and saying, "What are you looking at?" So she's very cheeky, and that's what I like about her. And if you see all women that António Xavier Trinidade paints, they might seem very traditional, but at the same point they have their own personalities, and he wanted to capture that they are not one among many.
You're a small fellow.
So we have a very contemporary issue again. two Muslim refugees from Armenia.
I see.
They were a big community in Bombay in the 1930s.
What a slice of history, no? I mean,
Yes, because at that point, there was a lot of conflict in Armenia with the Turks. So they came, and there was quite a community in Bombay.
I see.
Again, they definitely are poor. They are refugees. But you don't see.
You don't see hopelessness or despair in their eyes.
Not at all. You see nostalgia, maybe, but the way he portrays them is very dignified.
Interesting.
And then, as I told you, António Xavier Trinidade was a teacher at the JJ School of Arts, and he often took his students to open air painting, open air studio, let's say, to Nazek. And because of that, we have a lot of his works from Nazek, but normally they are in watercolor.
Nasik?
Nazek, yeah.
I see. Yeah. They are in watercolors, they are not in oil?
They are not oil because, for you have to be very fast, because at that point there was photography already.
Yeah.
But this is is getting the impression of the moment, so it has to be very fast, and watercolor for that is very good.
I see.
But at the same time, it's a very difficult technique. Because if you do two brushes in the same spot, it's perfect.
Okay.
So he was very, very good. His technique is absolutely outstanding.
Wow.
So, and it's very interesting because Nasik is a place where there's a confluence of faiths, of people from all over the place. So you have the temples, you have churches, you have giant temples as well. You have the market, you have people, everything. You have the river, which is sacred. Everything. Life happens in one spot.
I see.
It's very, very interesting, as you can see.
Nasik is about 300-400 kilometers from Bombay.
Yeah. And now is a great, the big vineyard of India, no?
Yeah. In those days, of course, it was very different. Where's this?
This is Nasik. All of this.
Nasik scene with Vedas. Oil. Very interesting.
Of course, we have other landscapes too. This is Panjim.
I see.
Just opposite the Rei Magus Fort.
Yeah.
So this is a very we have very little, very few landscapes from Goa actually. So
Rei Magus is that side?
It's that side.
That side.
This is where the merit is right now.
Okay.
So this is one of them, but it's absolutely stunning. The way it treats the sky. It's almost like a tunnel, no? Like it's absolutely like the British painters.
That's true.
Absolutely. And here we have Mahim, where he lived with his family.
I see.
That looks Panjim again.
It looks like Panjim, no?
It does, the balustrade of the
of Kampal.
Of Kampal, but it's not. It's Mahim.
I see.
I don't think if you recognize Mahim right now from here, definitely not. But some more.
Yeah.
And then we get to a section where we have the new works. So there were like some works that were restored recently, and we decided to add them to the permanent exhibition, like the woman in a pink saree, which is absolutely stunning, again in watercolor. But we also have graphite on paper, watercolors, and pastels.
Interesting.
And in the last room, also new to this permanent exhibition, we have Angela Trinidad's work. Angela was the daughter of António Xavier Trinidade.
Which period she worked in? Which years?
So she was born in 1909 in Bombay and died in 1980 in Brazil.
I see.
So she was
really
a contemporary of
Goa diaspora story.
Yes, so absolutely. So, but she was living. She died in Brazil, but she was living in the United States.
I see.
So, as a father, she enrolled in the JJ School of Arts, got a diploma, was awarded a gold medal for his work in All India Woman Artist Exhibition in 1936.
I see.
And started also to teach. But it's very interesting to see how Angela's work grows, no? From not copying, but being inspired by his father's work and by the Western traditions.
Wow.
Not only of naturalism, but more contemporary kind of aesthetics, Western still being the subject, although it's India, until a time where she started growing on her own. Growing on her own in the sense that Angela wanted to. She was a very religious person, and she was also trained in Indian styles. So she wanted to marry these two styles, Western and Indian styles.
Wow.
So she found a way of expressing that through religious painting. So if you see, it's a completely Indianized version of Bible scenes.
I see.
Basically calling to India and calling to the subcontinent, saying, this is not a Western religion. This is, and we appropriated it, and it's ours too. So it's very interesting to see that, all the features are Indian features. So and
the clothes
are Indian clothes. So basically saying, this is not a Western religion.
Very interesting.
So, and after that, after this, this is what made her famous, basically.
I see.
But after this, the religious painting continued throughout her life. But she explored also when she got to New York, abstractionism and tantric art.
Wow.
And she started her own style called Trinidadism, where she found the triangle as a perfect figure to start.
Wow.
Even though they are figurative, they have a point of abstraction. Majority of these works are still with the family, but it's very interesting to see that Angela basically utilizes abstraction to marry Indian and Western arts. She said it's the only way that I can put together, the spiritual world of the West and the East, but also the aesthetics.
Amazing. What I like the best is that you allow people to photograph it without a flash, in that sense.
Yeah. I mean, for the flash, it's only to avoid these images can be accessed on the web. These images, they are there to share.
Yeah, but that's what I like, because some artists, including Goan artists, they are very tight about copyright, and I think that if you want to pay tribute to them and their work,
Yes, but
it may seem like a self-serving argument. But
we don't have Fundacao Oriente was. So this collection was donated to us.
I see.
Our main purpose, it's not commercial, because we don't have any commercial purposes with this. We can't sell the works.
Correct.
So it's to promote it, and to promote it means that the majority of people are able to access them and to understand them and to study them. So if they can't do it coming to Goa, why not, share these images with everybody.
Thanks so much for this beautiful tour.
Thank you.
But before ending, half a minute on Fundacao's other work, that's books, the concert, and your famous Vekantar.
Okay.
That's a lot.
So, it is a lot for half a minute, but let me
take your time.
So Fundacao Oriente is a Portuguese private institution, non-governmental, that basically tries to strengthen this relationship between the East and the West. East and West as Portugal and the places of encounter in the East, in the West, meaning Goa in India, China, Macau in China, and Dili in East Timor. These are the main focus points of encounter between the Portuguese and the West and the East. Sorry, can I say this again?
Yeah. Fine.
Okay, so. We have delegations in the places where there were encounters between Portugal and the countries of the Orient.
What about smaller places like Oman and these? No, not so.
I mean, we have limited resources and limited, especially human resources. So we can't, because Macau is there because it was the first and it was the most important. Goa, obviously, but very, very interestingly, we are a pan-India delegation. We are not a delegation
for Goa. So this is your India delegation, and you are the delegated for India.
Yeah, exactly. The others are for China and the others for East Timor, even though they are
in one city.
I mean, historically, it makes more sense for us to be here because there's more contact, but we have to explore the full subcontinent. What happens with for other programs? So Fundacao Oriente is a Portuguese institution that works to strengthen this relationship between Portugal and India in the case of our delegation. And we have several areas of activity. No?
Yeah.
So all of them cultural. So visual arts, the main focus point is this collection. Obviously, we promote it, we take it. We are going to take it now to New Delhi and Bombay too. But we also have a visual arts award every year. Other areas of publishing, we do publishing of and have a short story competition
in 4 languages.
In 4 languages, in Marathi, English, Portuguese, and Konkani. Especially because we have as an objective to promote the diversity of languages that are found in Goa.
Right.
We also have a very famous, if I may say so, music festival, which is the Mount Music Festival.
I like this year's recording, very nice.
So this year we had to do it online because obviously we couldn't
have the guest.
Have guests. And
it's lovely this year.
It's absolutely, I think it was it was a completely different thing. So in between being a very intimate concert on top of a hill, it became a window of Goa to the world. So it's also very interesting. So we are thinking of now doing both.
I see.
Doing presential when the pandemic permits, and doing online too, so that we can basically extend our audience. We have a Portuguese singing contest, which is widely appreciated in Goa. It's a very, very...
And if people shoot videos, if people like me shoot videos and put it out, people abroad think that full of Goa singing in Portuguese.
No, absolutely. So this is the thing. When you see the window of the net, you take that as a whole. And it's not true.
Yeah. So, but they do a good job, whoever comes.
They do
20-30 groups, 20-30 groups.
Yes, they do a very good job. And I mean, we have normally, in normal years, we have like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
As an audience.
So neither extreme is true, no, Inês. It's not true that the whole of Goa or a large part of it is speaking Portuguese. Nor is it true that the Portuguese language is completely dead in Goa.
No,
and there's no interest in it.
Absolutely not. So Fundação Oriente supports the teaching of Portuguese in the school.
How many students?
We have around 1,000 students every year. We have 24 schools and 19 teachers at this point. Wow. Then there's the university that teaches Portuguese too.
Up to the MA degree.
Exactly. But it's not true that all of Goa, not now or not at the time of the Portuguese rule, because at the time of Portuguese rule only the people who got into schools would speak Portuguese and people who were working for the administration. So it was a very, it's a complex relationship.
Yes. Because there are still 2,000 words of Portuguese origin in the Konkani language, and most Konkani speakers would not be aware of it. But that's a topic for another debate.
But it's very